How to sharpen a knife. Let me go through some of the steps. First thing, we need to clean residue off of this blade. Okay, put the blade pointed away from you. Okay, that's good to start. Now, sharpening a knife, if it has some bad nicks, you're going to have to use a coarse stone to get the nicks out. This one just needs to be resharpened. It's been used many times. It's not the condition that it needs. So I'm going to use the finer grit. This is a 1200 diamond. And it's mounted on a steel plate. When you get a sharpening stone, you do not want a diamond plate that is on plastic. They just don't hold up, and the surface is not true. It's not perfectly flat. So a steel base would be the way to go. So this is a steel base diamond stone. Okay, now this stone provides an angle guide which allows you to angle the blade, but I don't particularly care to use one of these. I go by the feel. I lay the blade down, I tilt up to where I feel that this should be the right angle. And then you want to, because the blade curves, you want to make that blade on one pass touch the entire stone. So I had to do this method to make it run around that curve. So the best way is equal strokes from one side to the other, like you're slicing off a piece of the stone. If you are just touching up a blade, it doesn't take a lot. This is removing part of your blade. Now this area here feels extremely sharp. This area in here I can feel is dull. And probably touching is not the best way to see how sharp a knife is. Okay, you can see this discoloration. That is part of my blade, and that will fill the grooves between all the diamond parts. So this needs to be washed out periodically, or even as you're sharpening you can wash that out. Okay, then this stone, again, it has rubber backing, which is really nice, has the case that holds it. So I'm pretty pleased with how that diamond stone is working. So this part is very sharp. This part here, it's not hitting it quite so good in that area. So now I'm concentrating the cutting, this part of the stone and this part of the blade. I'm not worrying about rotating the tip on it now. That end of the blade has a nice edge. We are very good. There are a few school of thoughts on how to sharpen a knife. Another method that I've found very useful, especially when I was younger and couldn't maintain the proper angle, I would adjust the angle to where I want, and then you just work one side of the blade in circular motion. This cuts it down very rapidly, But again, right here, we're only working one side of the cutting edge. So if you don't do it carefully, you'll shift the cutting edge to one side of the knife. So then what you need to do is work the other side about the same number of times. And then once I get it close to where I want it, then I'll go through this method where one stroke then the next. But again, this one, each time you put the blade on, you have to reset your angle. So this might be tougher without for a beginner, and this way when you set the angle, you can hold it easier at that angle. And then same way this side, set the angle, and now I'm holding it. So this will bring it down quickly to that angle that you're holding. Now if I'm sharpening a tool bit, I'll use a gauge that'll hold the bit so that there's no movement whatsoever from my human error. It will hold it at the specific angle that you need. Okay, that's good to go. I'll carry that for another 50 years. Very sharp. Thanks for watching, my friends. Bye-bye.